All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you tonight? Ooh, let me grab my tea. All right. Now, Delphi case. Hashtag Delphi. Can these people be charged with crimes, being that it is a felony and against the law to show underage children to anybody? Now, what do I believe? I believe it is a crime that some of these people leak these photos. Them themselves were uh, found with these photos of an ongoing case. We'll put that aside. Hello, Connor Williams. Hopefully you can hear me. Is the microphone working? All right. Okay. Now, B. Let's put that aside that it was a murder case ongoing. These photos were leaked, whatever it may be. Now, the law states that it is a felony and against the law to take photos of underage children and put them on social media, the news, whatever it may be. So could these people be charged with possession of stolen photos, even if they were a photo of the original photo? I believe they can be. And it's very possible that these people's names have already been placed on a pedo list in Indiana, because I've explained to people on this channel numerous times that there was a task force created even before the Delphi murders, because there was such a problem in Indiana with pedos. So I do believe that these people that were in possession of these photos have broken the law. Now, I know Rick Snee is saying that, well, he will not reveal his sources and everything. Well, that sounds real good if you were a real reporter and worked for CNN or a big company. But I don't think that's going to hold up in the court of the law. And I don't think he's protected by anything. I don't think any of these YouTube creators are protected by any of that. And I do believe that the one PA or PI Jensen or Jemerson was trying to explain to them four people, Chris, Matt Sullivan, Rick Snee, that it is against the law. And people that are in possession of these photos of the Delphi crime scene have broken the law. And and that gentleman was trying to tell him these people so softly, but yet so in front of their faces that they have broken the law. And it is against the law to have photos of underage nude children or young teens. So therefore, there's nothing more to say. The law is the law, and nobody is above it. Not even YouTube creators, folks. Now we know Anthony Greeno had these photos. Rick Snee, these people. They, if they didn't have the photos 3 years ago, then folks, these people orchestrated it. Now I'm not saying that's what happened, but very well possibly. Because if you remember, the police are the only ones that came out and said, if we did not release it, don't believe it. And everybody threw a fit. Why aren't you releasing more? Because that information, the police said, that they wanted to hold. Why? Because only the killer or killers would have known the crime scene. Now, you're telling me 2, 3 years ago, when SH and all these guys, and even Harmon were saying, and Greeno and all these people, and that there was sticks and carvings in the tree and in the bodies, and they placed the sticks. That was years ago before anybody knew anything. That's why most of us were going, you're crazy. How did you guys know that when that information was never released? Right? And then, of course, everything happened. Anthony Greeno had the breakdown on YouTube, and they took my phone, and they won't give it back, and they questioned me in the Delphi case, and we all felt horrible that day. We were like, oh my God, what happened? Why won't they give him his phone back? Right? And then we've seen other creators that had breakdowns on there and everything. So do I think maybe that they're hunting these people down? Probably, that had these photos amongst these YouTubers. And here's the thing. They've had them for years, but they didn't release them. Did they release these photos? Because people were onto them. And they figured, what the heck? We better release them so it make it look, like we're crime fighters and we're investigating it. And well, that private investigator that was on panel with Rick Snee and Matt Sullivan and Rick or whatever his name was, pretty much came out and said it's against the law, guys. And it's against the law, and it's called pedo or whatever, pedo photos or something like that, he said. And it's against the law to even possess them, to even have them in their computers or in their homes is against the law. Therefore, these YouTube creators, them themselves trying to be the heroes, now have become placed on a pedo list, probably in Indiana, where this case started. Don't matter if you live in another country. It don't matter if you live in another state. I think the government tried to tell these people as nicely as they could that these people broke the laws. They benefited from these photos. Some were paid. Some had subs, views. We are onto the right track of who these people were. They know it, we know it. And the government told these people as nicely as they could, turn yourselves in before the team gets to you. We don't want to come into your houses when there's children there. Do you folks understand? You can act tough on YouTube. I suggest when that door breaks down, you hit the ground. I wouldn't point a gun at any of these officers or SWAT teams. You will die. No doubt about it. You will die. I suggest these YouTubers turn themselves in. Before your doors get busted open and your children and your wives see what you have done. They're not reporters. They're not investigators, real life. There was no need for them people to have them photos that were leaked on an ongoing case. I suggest these people turn themselves in. That's what I suggest. Because I don't think the government's playing with these people when they say it's against the law to have these photos. Just possessing them is a crime. You know, they're trying to tell these people as politely as they can to turn themselves in. They broke the law. These YouTube creators, they don't want to hear it. They think they're on top of the world. They have lawyers and all kinds of stuff. It don't matter. You can get all the lawyers you want. It'll cost you millions, right? The state of Indiana's got billions to spend on you folks in court. Suck you dry of everything you got. Yeah, I would suggest they probably turn themselves in and make it easy for them, for their families, right? You don't want people, you don't want the police surveillance you, hacking your computers, breaking your doors down and your kids and everything there and everything. And then your wife don't know, you know, and then your wife finds out you're in possession of ongoing crime scene photos of two young girls and one naked. And, you know, I agree with Jensen. He said it the best, and he ain't even the federal government. He's just a PI investigator. And he knows the laws better than these people that are so-called lawyers. It's against the law, folks. It's a felony. It's a felony. Pedos. It's a problem down south. Everywhere. People don't want to hear it. They can't understand. You know, lawsuits are coming to Indiana. The government probably. A lot of people being charged. A lot of fake accounts being taken down. A lot of trolls being hunted down. Hot phones and everything. Like I said, folks, this is terrorist activity, and very well might well be a big giant ring right on YouTube, right in front of our page. So, yeah, I would pretty much say that it is a very serious situation for some of these people, and some of these guys have already been locked up and in prison. And I imagine even after, if it is Richard Allen, who is Bridge Guy and Voice Guy, this case will still be open, and it'll be open for a long time, for a very long time. I mean, that's my theory on it. You don't have to take my word at all. But the government's pretty much came out and said it. If people don't want to exceed it, well, that's their problems. And SWAT can bang down your door, and you could be eating dinner with your wife and kids, and next thing you know, your whole world gets turned upside down, and they go through your computer and find a bunch of photos of naked children and a crime scene and everything. And then they got to explain to your wife and kids, Daddy's sitting in a jail cell. Hackers, you know, they caught some of these guys hacking computers, threatening people. Pretty crazy stuff, if you ask me. Oh, pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, I would say they broke the law. I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure it out that it's a felony to possess photos of children naked or underage or anything. They're minors. Now, some of you YouTube creators out here that were in the crime division and you wanted to be the top dog and you wanted to be the number one YouTube creator crime podcast, this is one that you can thank your lucky stars that you didn't see the actual real photos of the crime scene. It paid this time because it is serious. There's more talk of YouTubers being picked up and more arrests in this case. I wouldn't doubt it, folks. Heck, that murder sheet is scary. Both of them look like they're dark web hackers. Them themselves could have been the pedo ringleader. Right? Very well possible, which they received these photos. Thus far, they would be charged with criminal activity and in possession of pedo children, ongoing crime scene photos. Very sick world, but it's the truth. There you go, folks. God bless you all. And don't be lured. And they try and lure us every day. Catfish us. Whatever. Play along with their games. Lure them in. Most deadly hunt is human, pretty much. And I think that's what's going on in the world. I want to thank all the good people on my channel that just didn't believe all the bull crap that was out there. I do want to thank all of you for that. Other than that, I think we are on the right track. I agree with Doug Carter and the rest of the team. I think stick with what we know, and what we know is what we got. We got a bunch of them. I imagine they're all connected. We already know behind the scenes. They all know each other. They've all been chattering. The data will show that. Yeah, I think they're onto something. I would go with it. Now, a lot of people are very upset, but law is law. What's wrong, Debbie? No, let them say it. It's just all going down in YouTube records, Debbie. That's okay, Debbie. I know you're a busy lady and you can't be here every second. That's fine. I was going to time him out anyways, but I figured he was just busting balls over there or something. Like I said, folks, we got a lot of these people already locked up and on the way of locking up more people. A lot of people can't stand me. They hate my guts for my opinions. That's fine. They have the right to hate my guts. They have the right to say whatever they want in my chat. That's fine. All goes down in YouTube records, chat records, government records. Everything goes down in that. You know, all this will be documented. Well, you know, people report you and they say, well, this guy's doing this. And then it's a movie channel. The guy's sitting at home. He hasn't done nothing. I haven't done crap, and they've been blaming me for everything. I would imagine that's why a lot of these people boot scoop boogied out of Indiana. I would imagine that's why, probably why Mr. Carino, but they probably are going to be, they'll probably cop to lesser charges instead of being in possession of children, pedo photos or whatever it is, whatever they call it. Yeah, eye opener, ain't it? Like I said, some of you YouTube creators out there are great YouTube creators. You don't overstep the boundaries. These YouTube creators want to be the head honcho, the big ball buster, the shot caller. And them, we're going to watch these people go away and be put on pedo list. Yeah, it's very possible. People think I'm joking. I'm like, no, that's the law. It's a felony. The guy is on camera telling you folks, right in front of your faces, telling you it's against the law. Felony charges of pedos. Did I hear that right? I'm going to ask my great mods of all mods, Mrs. ATS News. Thank you for stopping here. Award-winning Mrs. ATS News. I heard that gentleman numerous times say that it is against the law to have photos of an underage child on an ongoing murder case naked is a felony in the beloved state of Indiana, and it is. And what else did that gentleman say? You are actually breaking the law even by possessing them. And that's what the gentleman said. And he said it oh so politely to these people, but they refused to want to hear. They just refused to hear. Of course, you got Rick Snee that's going to say he's not going to reveal his sources. You don't have to, Mr. Snee. You can take the rap all yourself. I wouldn't doubt it if your names are already on that list. I wouldn't doubt it. Not one bit. They really been busting balls in Indiana with that stuff. Excuse my language. Ladies, cover your ears, please. But there was a task force created right before the murders just for this. And that task force goes on today making arrests, numerous arrests every day. That I eventually will see in the court of law connections in a giant ring of sickos. Now, please voice your opinions. Please do. I want to say hello to the Kelp. Of course, Psychobabble is there. The great Debbie Fox and ATS. I got a couple lives going right now. Psychobabble. Yes, I know Dave's been live. I've been over there. I've been over there. So what do I say? I say I stand with the charges that probably will be put on these people and many others. Right? And many others. This was probably a sting that's been going on for a long time, folks. And people were so stupid. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. No, I know I'm saying things that might not be true, and it might not be true. Very well might be a bunch of crap, but I don't think it is, folks, because look at the history of the people that have been getting locked up in Delphi areas, surrounding areas. Heck, even Indiana itself. Yeah, it makes sense to me, and I'm stupid and have brain problems, and it makes sense to me. What does that tell you? If it makes sense to a retard, which that's what people call them, it makes perfect sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me what's happening to you folks. I ain't got nothing to do about it. Did as much as I can do. Thank God that they're on the right track. That's all I can say. And it very well might be MC clubs involved. And most of these YouTubers that we've already picked up. Chadwell, Kurtz, all these. Even Greeno was screaming that he belonged to some gang club. Very well might have been. I don't know. Ain't none of my business to find out. in my job. That's the team. And they're good. And may I suggest, like I said, folks, you get a rat tap tap on your door. And they say hit the floor. I suggest you folks hit the floor. And don't point a gun at them. Don't even go for a gun. Because they will drop you guys. Right? That's what they do. It's a very serious situation in Indiana and in America. And they've been cracking down on it. And I believe that these people are in deep crap. They might act. They might sing a different tune or whatever, act the way they act. That's fine. But the bottom line is, if the great state of Indiana wants to bring charges on these people for possession of ongoing crime photos and pedo charges for showing nude photos of a young teenage girl, you can bet your butt. I believe the people will stand by them. And, there's some things you just don't do. And I think they tried to tell everybody as nicely as they could. I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm out of line. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. If I don't, my apologies. But I don't think so. I just don't think so, folks. So yeah, could these people be charged? Well, if they want to, if the government wants to, yes. And why? Because it's the law. That's why. Or that. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? That it is against the law to show any kind of child naked on the internet system, whether they're dead or alive. Well, one of them showed the photos right in front of a police officer. As the cop was saying, you do know that you are. Well, he's a private investigator. He might be undercover. Biggest sting ever. It's never been done before, Mr. Trump. You were so right. You were so right, sir. This has never been done before. This big of a sting. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let me see what my chat has to say. Debbie says he can go somewhere else and bust balls. I would say so, Mrs. Debbie Fox. Mrs. ATS Mood, who is getting cuffed? I came in late. Probably the people that were in possession of these photos of the ongoing crime scene, of not the ones showing the river or the search or the embankment or anything like that. We're talking about the crime scene photos of the girls dead, one of them nude, and the other one underage minors. Probably will see time or cuffed, or at least going to pay a lot of money in law fees. That allows the law. There's nothing anyone could do about it. Nobody's above the law. Right? I don't even think Jesus was above the law. They crucified him, didn't they? And it's just unbelievable. God rested the King of all kings, Jesus, creator of everything, God Almighty himself. Jesus, God's son. And they crucified him. I don't know. I'm just a YouTube creator myself, folks. But what I ain't is a hacker. And I don't pass photos of underage kids around, period, or look at underage kids. So let that be a lesson to a lot of you folks. Oh my God, what a day. I'm getting hit from everywhere. All the witches, demons, pedophilers just coming at me big time. All right, does anybody have any questions at all that they would like to ask or say? You are free to voice your opinions here. Excuse me, without getting attacked. I'd appreciate it if you folks that were being investigated and want it, turn yourselves into the Indiana LaGrange, Indiana Sheriff's Department. I appreciate that. Tell them my subject. Well, I want to get this town on the map. All right? I'm trying to get this town on the map. They can turn themselves in there. I'm sorry. I think it's hilarious because I've been telling these people on my channel for I don't know how many years. How did them guys know about that? Only the state and the people that were there would have known what the crime scene was or even looked like. Nobody listened. And that's okay. I don't care. They don't have to listen to me. My job ain't to make you people listen. It's to voice my opinion and become a creator on YouTube. I don't use other people's channels to benefit my channel. Hell, these vampires have been sucking the life out of me on YouTube for I don't know how many years. Now, folks, make sure you get over to Dave Levine's channel tonight and check his channel out. He's just about over in about half hour or so. Does anybody have anything to say? Any questions? Anything in the Delphi case and what we are seeing? Nobody has nothing to say? No questions? Nothing? Nada? Zero zilch? Nada? No. Silence. You heard it here on this channel. We have already relabeled the Delphi River as the River of Deceit. And boy, were you folks deceived. And like I said, some of you are incredible YouTube creators. Incredible. And you have talent. And some of you do not stoop that low to become the #1 YouTube crime channel. And we appreciate you. But some of you, well, you are looking out for your pocketbooks and you were looking out to be the #1 crime channel on YouTube. And you implicated yourselves. Nobody had to do nothing. The Lord works in mysterious ways. I'll say that much. All glory goes to God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's very toxic following Delphi. And this is ATS News. You are so right, young lady. Almost demonic, if you ask me. This is ATS News, and I'm not joking. I've been battling this thing. They've been sending me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do I think everything that the law enforcement is saying is true? That there was a new task force? Well, I live out here. Yes, there is a new task force. And have they been making arrests left and right out here? I live out here, and it's in the newspaper, and it's in the local news. Yes, they've been making arrests. Club organizations, meth, prostitution. trafficking weapons, meth, for a long time, folks. So I do believe what the government is saying. This whole Odin thing, this whole secret society thing, and witches and demons and everything or whatever. I don't know. I'm not into it, so I've never seen it. Am I saying it's not real? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying I've never been around it. I haven't seen it. Right? So, but do I believe it exists? Yeah. Yeah, it probably does. It could be proven. Right? Everyone but us are unhinged. I'm close, Mrs. ATS News. I'm borderline hinged right now. I'm trying to keep my sanity in all this madness. And it is madness. I'm doing my best. Right? Well, little Mrs. Debbie Fox has been here the whole time. Right? Her herself, numerous times she's told me this is Matt. YouTube is Matt. It sure is. Mrs. Little Debbie Fox. Yes, very toxic. Gotta be demonic. How else are these people following these people that now the truth has come out that probably most of these people that we've seen boot scoop boogie out of Indiana or whatever very well might have very well been wanted for things. Right? But here's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. It was mainly the men that had these photos. I don't know how many women, but it was mainly men. Now I'm wondering, how long did they have these photos before all this came out? Did they have the photos because some sicko within the organization leaked them? Just not for YouTube. No. Because we know in serial killings and serial killers and rapists, and they always want to keep something so they can remember the crime scene or what happened that day. I don't know. It's very sick. Very sick. Very, very sick stuff. And I've been watching some channels that deep dive into the dark world of this madness that we live amongst. And it's just unbelievable. Let me see what my great chat says. Debbie's laughing. Mrs. ATS News says Chris Todd was sending them around, I bet. He was on the panel tonight, right? And Mrs. Criminalities. Another great channel, Mrs. Criminalities channel. I was over there hanging out. Great channel. Yeah, I think he was the one that was after the private investigator said, it's against the law to have, it's a felony to have naked photos of kids. You do know that. And I think Chris Todd said, I got a photo of the crime scene with the what did the PI say? With the girls? Well, I got that, but I'm not going to send you that. I'm going to show you this other one. All pixelated. It's a sick world we live in. It sure is. Yeah, that was crazy. It was. Right? It was. And it was almost to me like the private investigator was telling him. I mean, was it just me, Mrs. Criminality? Or did the PI, Jensen, come out and say, you do know that it's a felony to even possess a photo with an underage minor in it? Nude. I could have swore that's what they said. No, I'm getting old. I'm in my 50s now, but I don't know if my hearing is that bad or maybe this YouTube toxic madness, like Mrs. ATS News has said, has finally gotten to my brain, and I heard something totally different. But I don't think I did. I think I heard that gentleman Jensen, that PI, say to these guys, you do know that it is a felony just possessing them photos, stolen photos of a crime that is ongoing. And the one guy held up his phone and asked if everybody wanted to see the crime scene photos. This is unbelievable. I'm sorry. I gotta laugh. Funnier than crap. The guy's telling them it's against the law, and 2 seconds later, the guy in the I got the photos. I'm gonna show you these photos. And the cop's like, are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. I'm dumb, but I ain't that dumb. Anybody got anything to say? Anybody got anything good that they can put forward today in this case? Hashtag Delphi. The madness continues in Delphi. Unbelievable. Excuse me. I just can't go no more in this case. It's unbelievable. It's just, I don't know. Is there any psychiatrists out? We're all going to need psychiatrists after this case. Mrs. ATS News, do you like do YouTube on the side, but you're like really a psychiatrist or something? Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully you work cheap. Hopefully you just do free sessions on YouTube. This is madness. I can't this case number. It's corrupter than crap from the word go. And the only way it could be this is corrupt is somebody created and staged this whole thing. This whole thing so they can come out as the hero at the end. There's no way. The case from the word go from day one was psychotic. Madness. But people out there searching that wasn't even real police or a search team. Dogs out there, four-wheelers that were not police, that were not dog police. They were friends and families out there. There was no police out there the first night. That whole crime scene was contaminated from the word go. They searched that area that night. Nothing. Now, it's possible they'd walk right past the girls if they were covered in sticks and leaves. I'll give them that much. But as far as the crime scene, well, if you had four-wheelers out there and people walking all over the crime scene that night, that whole crime scene was contaminated from the word go. And there's nothing the police could do because the girls at that time, nobody was looking for dead girls. They thought maybe something happened. They didn't even think they were missing and kidnapped. And I think the law is out here. They got to wait 42 hours or whatever before they can even start searching for a young teen. There's a good chance they might have ran away or they might have been with a friend or whatever. Now, I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, God dang it, I'll get on here just like Howard Hughes said. And I'll tell you folks I was wrong. But I think that's the laws out here. And that explains why there was no police out there that night looking. And it wasn't a real search. It was just friends and family who were firemen. That is true. There were some firemen out there searching that night. But not because of the law or the police sent them. Because they were friends with Mike Patty and a couple other people who used to be firemen. Now, I can't blame the police because the police were doing their job. They had no idea what was going on, and they had to wait to make sure the girls were missing. and not just off somewhere and took off or whatever. You can't blame the police on that. You can't blame the family because all they were doing was looking for their kids, although they should have quarantined that whole area. But we can't do that because we didn't know we were looking for two dickers. But should it have been quarantined once the police came in and everything? Yes, that whole area should have been locked down. Nobody in or out. No reporters, nothing. That whole area out there, all the trails, everything should have been locked down. For all we know, heck, the killer went back there and planted the phone there. We don't know. Right? Am I lying? If I'm lying, then tell me I'm lying. I don't know. Well, I'm not lying. Or am I wrong? That's what I meant. I'm not lying because that's true. It's possible the killer went back out there that night. We don't know. We don't know how many people were involved. Could have been many. Might have been one killer, but there was many involved. We don't know if there was a snuff film. There's rumors of a snuff film. Photos and stuff like that going around, black market, whatever, kitty ring or whatever. We don't know. I'd have to trust the police. Why? Because that's their job. We're supposed to look to them for help. They're supposed to be our friends when our children are being murdered or our girlfriends are being raped or pillaged or our towns are. We're supposed to be backing the police when it comes to stuff like this. Now, people getting picked up for smoking a doobie, I got better things to do, right? Somebody in their backyard drinking a beer or something, not my problem. But when children are being used and women are being kidnapped and being abused and made money off of and turned into sex, drug-filled fiends, well, that becomes a problem. Because you know why? Because that could be your daughter, your son, your grandkids. And that's why we're cracking down in America, folks. You'll thank us in the end. I know a bunch of you people think that we're trying to take over a country. No. We're trying to keep our children safe because our children cannot survive in a world of madness. And this country is lagging in technology because our children can't go to school and feel comfortable to learn the technology. So we got to make some changes in America. And I'm all for them if it brings back the good old days where people had morals and integrity. And were proud of their children and their grandchildren, like my grandparents were. Right? That was the first thing the grandparents did when they were all got together. You see my grandkid? Boom. There went the pocketbook and the old high school footballs. And this is my grandkid. In high school, he plays football. This is my granddaughter, little baby. They showed photos. Why? Because we weren't sick. Like most of these. Sick. Very sick pedo sickos. We can't even, grandparents are like, we can't even be proud of our kids. And no. Because you might be showing your photo to some sicko. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And I'll apologize right now and all over the world right now. My apologies. My apologies. Now you people don't. Now you know why some of us don't sleep. Not because we're worried about anything, but now our eyes are open to the madness around us. I had a nice lady in here last night saying she can't sleep. I don't blame her. The madness around us with these YouTube channels and crime. It's horrifying. I don't know how we're alive. We all should be locked up in straitjackets, including me. It'll drive you crazy. Can't do it. Not 24/7. There's no way. Does anybody have anything to say? Go on, you can post. You can post what you want to say now, Psycho Battle. Go on. I know exactly what he's going to say. You're an idiot. Anybody? Now, I am under attack by some demonic spirit because I guess I must be hot on the nail in this case. And if I am, all glory goes to God because I'm stupider than a box of rocks. But I got morals and integrity, and I'll go off what I know and what's on YouTube. I want to thank God I didn't see the crime scene photos, but we will see them photos, folks, when this case goes to court. Well, we will see the crime scene photos. We're not proud of it, but the truth be told, we're going to end up seeing them crime scene photos. I don't think we will, though, because they're minors. But the jurors will. The jurors will. And after the jurors see it, well, they will explain to us, let's say, ask what they think of the case or whatever. Then again, most of you people have seen them crime scene photos already. I haven't. I've seen surrounding photos of the search area, but I haven't seen the bodies. And I'll wait until it comes out in court. Just like we've seen the O.J. Simpson, but that was different. She was older. These are minors, so there's a good chance nobody will see these photos except for the people that leaked them or stole them or whatever. So I don't know. We might have to wait. I don't know. Is that a good explanation as a big TS News? Debbie? Anyone else? Psycho Babble? Anyone? All right, it's getting late. What is it? 9:30? 10 o'clock? I can't even see the clock. 10:30 already. Does anybody have anything to say? Am I way out of line? If I am, then say so, and I'll apologize. Right? Heck. Did any of you notice that the water in the crime scene photos of the shoe and the shirt, the water actually looks frozen around it? It was a cold night that night. And it was a cold morning with a wind coming out of the north. So it could have been nice that I was saying. And that's why the water's maybe murky, but very well possible that they were searching upstream, which was kicking up sediment upstream. Now you have to remember the searchers stretched just about all the way across that river. So they might have been stirring up stuff, and maybe that's why the photos, the water looks a little bit cloudy. Or it could have been ice. Real close to the shore, it's probably ice. Possibly. I'm no professional, but possibly. And, I think I know what photo now Art of Deduction was talking about now, where he said he looked at the photo and it looked like somebody was drugged up the side of the thing. And for one, that's way too deep of an impression of a drag mark. To me, it looked like maybe somebody tried to go up it with something, or maybe a muskrat hole and they just slide right out, or an otter, like people were saying in criminalities. And you could see another hole right next to it that was smaller. That very well might be a water snake. Even I think down there, I think they have pygmy rattlers or timber rattlers in Indiana. Could have been a rattlesnake dead. It could have been an otter. It could have been a muskrat hole. A body being drugged? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it was. For one, there was a lot easier places to bring a body up than other than there. There was a steep incline there, so it didn't make sense to me. I'm not saying it ain't drag marks, but I didn't see anything when I blew the photo up. And for one, folks, we have no idea how them girls died. We're going off what people said. How do we even know the documentation that we're being fed from other people that are so-called sources that ain't feeding these YouTubers a line of crap? We don't know. Let me check my chat. I think nobody was drugged there. I don't think so either. It was just too much debris in the way. And once you get so far up, that was a pretty much a straight up incline, like a small cliff. There was a lot more easier spots to transport a body on there than that. Exactly. Why go up as steep and bake it? Yeah, that was with two bodies. I don't know, man. I'm not buying this whole thing. It just ain't. It just ain't. And you know what? You know how this story started? It was not the police. People keep saying, "Oh, well, it wasn't the police. It was not the police that got these stories started." Does anyone want to take a guess? Who started these stories in the Delphi? Because that information wasn't released. It was podcasters. Do you know I haven't even seen them photos on the news out here? They don't even barely talk about Delphi unless there's an arrest. And they don't even talk about it. They just say there's an arrest made in the Delphi case. I ain't never seen them photos on news. There's short news clips of task force that have arrested these people, that people, them. But I haven't seen no Delphi photos or nothing on the news. I've seen aerial shots of the helicopter flying over the area, but the news channel, they don't show a lot. Why? Probably because it's an ongoing case. I bet you we'll see all kinds of it once this case is over with. I just went black screen. Mammy. Mammy. Hold on a minute. Let me turn my fireplace back in. I think once this case is in court, no, we're going to see this case all over the news out here. It is going to be all over the news out here. I know it. It's got to be more running. Oh yeah. Yes, Mrs. ATS News. I agree. All the dots were there that it was way more than what. Like I said, it might have been one guy that did the murders. It's possible, but all evidence and all the dots are connecting to it's this club pedo thing or whatever down there. And the sad thing is there's like 30 or 40 women that have been killed out there, or kids or whatever, or that are missing. I don't know. That's some crazy stuff, if you ask me. And people are saying Ron Logan's involved. I don't know. Possibly. Do I think he sounds like Voice Guy? No. Do I think he looks like Bridge Guy? Well, depending on what photo you're watching. Depending on who's showing you Bridge Guy. Because them themselves have manipulated the video or overlaid it with other faces or whatever. I can remember in the beginning of this case, it was unbelievable. The first year in the Delphi case, people were saying, look at this photo of Bridge Guy. And you were looking, everyone was like, it's Ron Logan. It's this guy. It's that guy. It's Chadwell. We were all over it. And it was one photo, but you were seeing all these people in it. Was it a setup? Was it a setup? It very well might have been a setup, folks. Richard Allen might have been at the wrong place at the wrong time, unless they got DNA. Stone cold proof, which if they said they had, then we would have to believe them. But this might have well have been a setup. And Richard Allen took the fall, or was part of it. And there was other people involved. Yeah, not even TMZ has talked about it, not even CNN, nobody's talked about it. Once in a while we hear a little glimpse out here in Indiana of something on the news, of something in court, or they've made an arrest. That's about it. Other than that, they keep their mouth shut. I imagine because it's an ongoing case. But I do remember this much. It was on the news. A couple days or whatever, the night of the search. It was dark out. I can hear dogs, and I can hear four-wheelers. So they were out there that day, that night, looking for the girls. Something is not adding up, and something didn't add up from the beginning of this case. Who was the guy with the drone that was out there? Who was the guy all dressed in black? Who was the 5'10" person? Who was the reddish brown curly hair guy that was out there? Who was the two people who was the young teenager that was parked on the side of the road by the bridge? And the one lady pulled up next to him and asked him if he needed a ride in town or the car was okay. And he said he was waiting for his father. What happened to that witness and that video that was put out? That someone claimed they were driving past the bridge that day or that road by the meat packers, and there was a vehicle on the side of the road with what she appeared to be a young teenager. A young-looking teenager. She pulled over, or whoever it was, pulled over to ask if they needed a ride. And he said no, that he was waiting for his father. Where was his father? Was he walking in the woods? Right? There's a lot of things that people are missing. What happened to these videos? And people could say, oh, you're lying, that was never a video. No, that was a video. That was out on somebody put out that there was a report of a young teenager. They thought it was a boy, but now they were saying it possibly could have been a woman that looked like a boy. But actually they're saying now, or if I remember correctly, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's very well said. It could have been a woman, but they dressed like a young teen and had a baseball cap on. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard in the video. And a lady pulled over to ask if they needed a ride to get gas or if the car was broke down, and asked if the person needed a ride, and they said no, they were waiting for their father. What happened to them people? Where'd they go? Where's the 20 kids that were supposedly out there when they were dropped off? Right? They want to say, well, that wasn't 20, it was 10 or 15. Where are they at? So there was a drone and a helicopter. Not the first night. There might have been someone out there with a drone, but no helicopter. There were no helicopters out there the first night. There was when they found the girls. There was a helicopter, but not the first night they searched. There was no helicopter out there. If there was a helicopter out there, they would have lit that place up like it was daylight. They would have searched that whole area with the spotlight off that. It'd have lit it up 100 feet around circumference like it was daylight. There was no helicopter out there that night. The next day there was, after they found the girls. Now there might have been somebody out there with a drone that night. Who that person was, I don't know. For one, I don't even think them dudes, I think the whole thing that the girls were spotted from the bridge, from someone saying, how? It's a whole ravine. I don't even think you could see that area down where the girls were from the bridge because it's a ravine in there. You got to go up a steep embankment, then you walk a little bit, and then it drops way down. How did they see these people? Through the trees, through everything. How did they see the girls? Very interesting. They seen a deer, which could be explained if they were out there searching. The deer were bedded down there in the day, but at night they would be on the move. And they probably were spooked. Very well possible there was deer out there at that time of year. It's also a known place for hunting. And it's also a known place for people to cook meth and party. So you get the best of all the worlds, I guess, down there. I don't know. Anybody else got any questions? It's getting late. I don't want to keep you ladies up. Or you gentlemen. Yeah, a lot of questions in the Dope case. I'm pretty much done with it until it goes into court or there's another arrest. I do believe there will be more arrests. I do believe it was bigger. It might have been something that they just didn't see, but now all the dots are connecting and they're making arrests. Keegan Kline played a role in this case. Anthony Schatz. Was Anthony Schatz a cop when this happened, or did he become a cop after this happened? Was Anthony Schatz involved in any way? A lot of people were looking at him saying he wasn't a cop when this happened. He was out here, supposedly. I don't know if that's true. I doubt it, but that's what people were saying. Right? Keegan Kline gets nabbed 12 days after the murder, supposedly, from what these people are saying. He's released, given a polygraph. We don't know if that's true. All of his phones and devices taken. Next thing you know, everybody's starting to get popped down there. Arrests being made. They picked up Chadwell. I think they picked up Chadwell before. I think Chadwell had an arrest record pretty good, pretty big. Heck, I think he even used to sleep under the bridge. I think he had photos or videos of him. He used to, in his videos, he said he used to like to stay underneath bridges and stuff when he was homeless or something. He also rode a bike. Yeah, very interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough. Do I think they'll charge these people? Probably not. Could they? Yes, they could. Anybody that was in possession of the girls' photos, uh, them actually being shown at the crime scene of the bodies, they probably could charge with them people. Will they? Probably. Who knows? Was it corruption of a case? Yes. Yes. Why do I think it was leaked? They sent you folks on some kind of an Odin chase because they didn't want you to know, some sicko. Possibly a pedo ring or whatever. Maybe these people live 10 minutes away from each other and they're like, it's impossible that these people didn't run into each other when these people were all from Delphi and probably went to school together or whatever. Right? Impossible that they knew each other. They all sold drugs or did drugs or belonged to some club, but it's just impossible that they all knew each other. I don't know what's wrong with the world. I really don't care anymore. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This has been an hour video. I want to thank all the great mods for showing up tonight. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Right? I'm not the greatest at this, but I'll do my best. And do I think these people should be charged? Well, folks, if you don't charge these people, then it just goes to prove that it's corrupt, and you cannot get a fair trial in America. Impossible. The justice system is broke down. They don't want to fix it. They know it. They'll come right out and tell you it's broke. The justice system is broke. We're trying to fix it. Well, let's keep trying. I don't know about you folks, but if they lock up 50 people and they weren't the murderers they didn't do the murders, but they were connected to photos or whatever, Keegan Kline and kitty porno photos or whatever, you bet your butt I'm going to say hang them by their Buster Browns. Because next time it could be our kids or our grandkids or our friends' kids. Bunch of sickos. No, they're all going to claim they said they didn't get them. No, Miss Humanimal. I bet you they're all going to claim them. I don't know what you're talking. What photos? But it's obvious these people were caught. They benefited from it. They profited from it. They made money off of it. They benefited their channels from it by having the head scoop on everybody. They led people on a diversion why they went ahead and said, that's not what happened. I think this is what happened. And they explain the whole crime scene. And wouldn't you know it? Now the crime scene that these guys explained 3 years ago has now come true, right? Yeah. I think we'll be seeing you folks in court, if not on the streets. And the streets are a MFer, last time I checked. All right, you folks have a great night. Be safe. God bless you all. I got to run to the store real quick before it gets too late. Maybe they won't charge him, Miss Humanimal. She says she's not sure. I'm not sure they could be charged. Well, I don't know. The government's saying that it's a felony to even possess a photo of an underage child that is not yours, let alone nude photos of a minor. So I don't know if they will. If they won't, well, I don't know what to say. My condolences to the family. And it's a sad day. And let me tell you how else some of these people controlled the channel and controlled the case by saying that they were working for the mother, by saying they were related to the family. That's how these people controlled the case and told people, we'll strike you if you talk about this certain thing. We'll sue you. The family gave us permission to. And now we're finding out that a bunch of these little pinpricks were liars. And the family now is coming forward and saying these people should take their videos down because they weren't hired. What we are dealing with is a bunch of bullshit artists. That's what we're dealing with. A racket of bullshitters. What right family member of a murdered girl would leave Anthony Greeno or some of these YouTubers in charge of a murder case? Are you kidding me? Please do me the favor. If I end up dead, last resort is a YouTuber. And it wouldn't be the YouTuber that would be the problem. It's social media, because now there's so much stuff on Delphi. You don't know what's real or what's not real. You don't know who's telling the truth and who ain't. I don't know. God bless you all. Have a great night. I want to thank all the ladies for stopping in. The great mods. Debbie Fox. Anybody else want to be a mod? I don't know. I'm going to just mod this whole place out. I think Miss Humanimal was a mod a while back. I think she was. I don't know. We've been having so much trouble with YouTube. My apologies if I've upset any of you ladies or said anything ignorant. My condolences to Abby and Libby's family. But to this day, 7 years later, the only ones that are suffering is Abby and Libby and the family. And now people are even looking into the family. That's something fishy's going on there. I don't know, folks. Possibly, usually the law looks into the families, friends, and then they go out from there. That's just procedure and investigating. You folks have a great night. I'm disgusted. We're all disgusted. We all want to know the truth, Mr. Doug Carter. If you ever see this video, not because we want to be powerful, because we want justice and we don't want it to happen to our children. Does that make sense to anybody? Probably not. They're all on this power trip thing. You ladies and gentlemen have a great night. God bless you all. Keep an eye on your kids. You ladies, lock your doors at night. And even in the daytime when you're at home. And shut your windows at night. Especially if you live out here. A bunch of nut jobs. Bringing 4th Battalion and everything just to keep peace in this dang country. It's unbelievable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. God bless you all. Love you all. Peace. And if any of the ladies that were mods here before want to be mod, all you have to do is ask them. Make him. All right. Leave it to Greeno to sort it out. Oh, yeah. It's just, yeah. Tell that to the mother and father of Abby and Libby. Now you folks have a good night. Have a great night. Be safe.